Have you ever wondered if you really have the talent to stand out? That doubt that hits when you see incredible artists who seem to have been born with a magical skill in their hands. And then comes the question, do I really have that much talent? Maybe this question has crossed your mind, maybe more than once. If so, let me share a secret. Talent is just a part of the equation. And honestly, it might be much smaller than you think. By the way, if you're tired of drawing and feeling like nothing is improving, pay attention. Mark Brunet's art school for digital artists was what pulled my drawings out of stagnation and gave me an insane boost. It's like going through an art school, but for a fraction of the price and only with what really matters: perspective, anatomy, color, composition, and much more, all explained step by step, from beginner to advanced. It is, by far, the best and most complete art course on the market. Don't waste time stuck at the same level. The link's in the description. Check it out now. Let's get back to the video. Let's talk about talent and practice. First of all, talent is just the starting point. It can give you an initial advantage, like you're running on a track and starting a few meters ahead of others. But the big question is, who runs faster and longer will get there first? It doesn't matter where you started. And that's where practice comes in. Let me tell you a story. One of the greatest examples of this is the violin legend, Niccolò Paganini. It's said that he had a natural talent for music from a young age. But do you think he became famous just because of that? No way. He practiced for so many hours a day that, over time, his fingers became deformed from playing so much. It was practice, dedication, and above all, perseverance. Paganini knew that talent wasn't enough to get him where he wanted. And you need to understand that too. If you want to stand out, the first thing you need to do is embrace practice. Make it your best friend. Because even if you were born with talent, if you don't practice, it will wither away. The world is full of talented people who never got anywhere because they didn't invest the necessary time to improve. Effort always beats talent when talent doesn't put in enough effort. So, the question you should be asking yourself isn't, do I have talent? But rather, am I willing to practice enough to stand out? The importance of a growth mindset. Now, let's talk about mindset. There's a very powerful concept that psychologist Carol Dweck brought to light called the growth mindset. In short, it goes like this. If you believe that your skills are fixed, meaning you're either born with them or not, you're sabotaging your potential. But if you believe that you can develop any skill with time and effort, you open up a universe of possibilities for your growth. Think about it. Do you believe that all the great artists you admire today were born ready, or that they reached their peak without stumbling? The truth is no. They fell, made mistakes, got frustrated, but they had one thing in common. They believed they could improve, and that's why they kept trying. I've seen many artists get stuck because they believe talent is the only thing that matters. And if you're in this place, you need to change that mindset. Because honestly, what matters most is not how good you are now, but how much you're willing to become better. Practice leads to improvement, and that improvement is what really makes you stand out. Discipline, the engine of evolution. Discipline is that force that will push you on days when you're not feeling inspired. When the world seems to be pulling you toward everything unrelated to art, it's what makes you sit down to draw even when you think you have no ideas. You know that laziness that sometimes hits? Well, discipline is what will help you overcome it. Imagine that creativity is a bonfire. Talent is just the match you use to light the flame. But if you don't feed that fire with fuel, read, practice, studies, references, it will die out. And most of the time, the fuel is discipline. It's what keeps you going even when inspiration doesn't come. Did you know that many professional artists aren't always inspired? They've learned to create anyway because discipline has become a habit. So, the next step to standing out is to cultivate discipline. It will keep you on track even when talent isn't enough. Comparison, the thief of joy. Now, let's talk about an enemy you've surely faced: comparison. With social media, it's even easier to look around and see other artists creating amazing things and think, I'll never reach that level. This is a dangerous trap, because in reality, you're only seeing the end product of that person's work. You're not seeing the behind the scenes, the years of practice, the frustrations, and the mistakes they made to get there. Comparing your beginning to someone else's middle or end is unfair to yourself. If what you want is to stand out, focus on comparing your today with your yesterday. Look at how much you've already evolved, what you've learned, the obstacles you've overcome. Every line you draw, every mistake you make is an opportunity to improve. And the only healthy comparison is this one. You against your own progress. Oh, and don't forget, the creative process is different for everyone. Some artists evolve faster, others slower, and that's okay. What matters is your commitment to your own path. The power of originality. Now, there's something that goes beyond talent, practice, discipline, and everything we've talked about so far. Your originality. The world is already full of talented artists, but what will really make you stand out is your ability to bring something new. And you know what's amazing? Originality doesn't come naturally. It's cultivated. It comes from a mix of your experiences, your references, your passions, and of course, your willingness to try new things. Want to know how to develop your originality? First, stop trying to copy exactly what other artists do. You can use references, sure, but don't fall into the trap of wanting to be a copy. Experiment, test new styles, play with colors, shapes, textures, and most importantly, be willing to make mistakes. Because often, originality comes from mistakes that turned into something interesting. And there's more. Stay true to who you are. Sometimes, we try to follow what's trending, what's hot on social media, and end up losing our own essence. But the truth is, what will make you unique is your worldview. Don't be afraid to put it into your art. The path is yours. So, in the end, the question you should be asking isn't whether you have enough talent to stand out, but whether you're willing to walk the path necessary to do so. Talent may be a starting point, but it doesn't define where you'll go. What will make the difference is your dedication, your discipline, and your originality. If you're willing to commit to the process, to get back up after every mistake, to keep practicing even when it seems tough, then the answer is yes, you have what it takes to stand out. So, are you ready to start? If this video helped you, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next ones. Thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to check the description. There are several important links that can help you even more. See you in the next video.